I was gonna say if I could find Ilikhal's sister.
Which one?
Which one? The twin or the
Ilikhal's twin
oldest?
sister.
Ilikhal. Yes.
Ilikhal.
You can. She's just there vibing, lady vibing like Ilikhal does, just in female form.
Hands in pockets, just
vibing, enjoying everything. Also drinking, not wrestling. She's too smart to wrestle.
Why? That was fun.
Ilikhal is a great fighter.
Yeah, I would say so too. He is a good little brother. Also,
I am glad he has such a loving family.
We're happy to have him. He's the best brother I have. He's also the only brother I have.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Martin.
Family is important to your people, right?
Very. Not many people accept us for who we are, other than family. Many are afraid.
How come?
Probably because we're different. People tend to be afraid of people who are different, which is unfortunate. Of course. We also have a rule, though.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone brought in by family is family also. And that includes you.
Smile. But I also think I have my
You probably do, yeah.
Yeah.
You take care of my brother, okay? He may be big and strong, but he gets into his own trouble.
I will. I hope this all goes well for you and your mother.
Me too. And she just hugs you. Like, she's been drinking a little bit too. She hugs the shit out of you. Like, you feel some crunch. Like, if you had a spine, it's aligned now. This is like the most love you've felt since waking up. It's weird. You're feeling emotional. I'm feeling emotional. Yeah. It is starting after this conversation. It's approaching the time when you need to head out, though.
And
it's approaching 11:32.
I say my goodbyes really quickly and tell her that I have to take care of some business, but I will be back to hopefully enjoy the ends of the celebrations.
She says, "Be safe," and she means it. Like you pick that up. She wants you to be safe.
I try to do the Glide thing and do the shoulder.
Big reach up, boom, boom, and she clasps you on the shoulder, and you got big hands. She's as big as Ilikhal. They're twins. Same jeans. Not the same pants, though.
Thank you.
And she says in Giant this phrase. It sounds in common. It sounds like un brustar.
I don't know what that means.
You don't? Oh, do you say that?
I try to.
She says.
I don't know what it means, but I try to say it back.
Okay, she says it's un brustar. You'll have to ask Ilikhal what it means.
Okay.
Or you could ask her, but it'd be kind of like if you say it back.
I say, what was it again?
Un
brustar.
Brustar. Close enough.
That's exactly how.
She's close enough. And you're on your way?
Yes.
All right. Your travel to the inner gate goes unaccosted. The city of Stormsfall is like surprisingly peaceful at night for a large city. Yeah, it's difficult to explain the peacefulness. There are taverns and stuff, but like any trouble that is being had is being had quietly, if there is any trouble being had, or inside in certain places. Like it's kind of nice. Like it's appropriately chill. It's an interesting city for sure. As you travel down the West Road, there are people out and about at night. They're just kind of moving around. There are a couple people that are like kind of sketch, but you know to steer clear of the right and wrong kind of people. There are people who are obviously like there are people out on trysts. There are people who are potentially up to no good. Be 2 days past that, so we're here. All 3 moons are in the sky tonight, and it is surprisingly clear. Your days in Stormsfall have been stormless, which is interesting. And tonight there is plenty of light from the 3 moons.
What was the goddess of, I believe, the moons?
There are 3. There is Talia, who is the eldest.
Mhm.
Got it right here. I actually have it right here. I can never remember lady number 2. Arian, who is the middle sister, and Minuet, who is the little sister. And all 3 are out tonight. It's like a full moon in a way, but it happens once a week ish. It happens about 4 times a month. So there's a fair amount of light. There are also, I mean, there are lamps outside that are lit and things like that. It's not like brightly lit all the time. Down the West Road itself is pretty lit the whole time, and definitely down the Kings Road, down the East Road. Even in the alleyways and stuff, there's still moonlight. Or on top of the buildings, you would imagine like you could see across the whole city. Leaving the ruckus of the Goliaths behind, entering into the city, which is quieting down. You pass a few individuals, but as you approach the center gate, a figure steps out of the shadows. A figure that you recognize as Corin, because he approaches you, which is no one has done that yet. And he is no longer wearing like his regular street clothes. He is in the things that you first saw him in, a darker cloak and dark leathers. He says, "Okay, now it's time for me to show you my city, but I have some trouble for us to get into first. Is that okay with you?"
I'm game.
Okay. He says, "We're going to have to be quiet, though. Follow me." And he takes you, I need you to make a stealth check.
That's a dirty 20.
Pretty good. You rolled a natural 19.
Ooh.
So that is a 28 for stealth.
Nice.
Using his knowledge of the city, you almost lose him. He is like, this is his element. You're stealthy in the woods and you're stealthy in cities. You're stealthy in general. Not only is he like stealthy, but this is like his town. So like you feel like he, like again, it's very much like he doesn't misstep. He takes you through a few alleyways. Interestingly, he leads you to a place. It's like a apartment building where you can get to the 2nd floor, and it's an outside staircase up a stone staircase. But immediately there's no railing, and then immediately after the stone staircase is like he hops and he swings around a drain, like a drain pipe of sorts, and he lands on a rooftop, and you follow. And it's not an acrobatics check necessary, like you're proficient enough to not fail at this, but he does it. He lands on the rooftop and he doesn't make a noise. You land on the rooftop and like one pebble falls off or something. Like there's one little noise in the dark, like the tiniest thing. And he takes you along the rooftops through the inner city, through the old city. And he stops in a few places, and you see like a Kingsguard patrol go by, and then he takes you around, and you travel closer and closer to the cliffside and along these routes. And you get closer and closer and closer to the palace. And he stops you at an apartment building. You've made your way up a little bit, so you're actually on a 3rd story of an apartment building. And he stops you at it's by the castle, by the palace wall. And he says, "Stop." And you both crouch quietly. You're both very, very stealthy. And he says, you see him, he goes 3, 2, 1. You watch on the castle wall as a guard steps out of like the guard house on top, and he starts to make his way across. And this is probably 60 feet away, maybe less. You see him go. You're probably even third story. Like it's probably just a little bit below where you are, maybe 60 feet away. And
This boy knows his stuff.
the guard continues on, and he goes, "Okay, come on." And he's like, you descend to a second story, and it's this long rooftop, and there is a small. It's not ladder size. It's smaller than a ladder. It's like maybe a foot wide, but it's about 20 feet long across this like 40 or 50-foot roof. And he says, "Help me with this real quick." And together you can extend it the distance across the rooftop to the castle wall. And he says, "No, you have to go really fast or else you'll fall." And in one swift motion, he across the rooftop, and he's on the castle wall. And you attempt to follow. Again, this is not something like anything but a natural one would succeed, and a natural one wouldn't be that interesting anyway. You would just fall off, have to climb back up, and then try again. So it's not worth a roll. You follow across it. It flexes under your weight a little bit, and that kind of like catches you by surprise, and you understand that's why you need to go fast, because it'll bounce and it'll kind of throw you off. You make it to the other side.
Boo.
What?
Boo.
What? You don't want to just you want
Boo. That's it. That's all.
Boo.
Roll the 10 on the
Salty,
dice.
you make him roll so much. Roll so much.
I roll for everything. Talk to a shopkeep, roll a dice.
Is it interesting?
Want to buy this book? Roll a dice.
If you fail.
Run across a sketchy ass bridge to climb a castle wall?
If you
It'll be fine. You got this.
That's what matters. If failure would be interesting, roll a 10 on what's your acrobatic skill with a 10 on the dice?
+5.
15 is enough.
You got this.
The salt.
Why not roll dice? Let's roll dice. Martin wants to roll some dice.
I just like the story.
We're gonna Martin's ahead on the story now. Martin's like, yeah, free preview. You land on the castle wall across this 20-foot gap. Corn says to leave the. It's almost like it's probably made of like bamboo or something. It was really light. And he says something about like his people will get it, which sounds a little sketch. He's like, "Don't worry about it." And he leads you to the guardhouse that the guard exited from. And he says like something about the guards are on 15-minute shifts. Every 15 minutes, leaves one guardhouse, goes to the other. We go back and forth. So we have about 20 minutes until he comes back. Until now, we go down. He leads you down a few flights of stairs, and you lead out of the like tower that's up the side of the wall. It's probably a 2-story. It's probably 2 flights of stairs, which you do fairly stealthily, and you come out into a garden on the other side of the palace wall. And he says, "The servants' entrance is just on the other side of the garden. We're going to go through there, and through the kitchen, which is quiet this time of night, and then down a few hallways that should be unoccupied. Okay?
Okay.
You need to roll another stealth check."
This one is an 18.
Okay. You also roll. That's plenty well enough. You cross the courtyard. It's not. I guess it's kind of a courtyard, but it's a garden-esque. There are like fancy bushes and trees and stuff. It's from the outer wall to the inner wall, which is probably 40 feet. And then essentially from like the inner wall is like what you've just been told is the kitchen's entrance. You walk up a flight of 7 stairs. It's not a real flight of stairs. It's like a half flight into a postern door, essentially. He reaches up and he like tests the knob, and it's unlocked. And he goes, "I said the locks were easy to pick. Sometimes they don't even lock them." And he opens the door, and it kind of opens up. Make a perception check.
That is a 10.
Okay. He goes in through the door. Do you follow? I assume you're with him.
Yeah.
You enter in, and you're in a kitchen. There's a large oven. It looks like it could be made for baking bread or cooking anything. There's actually, I'll say there are 2 ovens. It's the palace. There are 2 large ovens. Look like they could be wood fired or other fuel. There's what appears to be like a well where you could draw water straight into the kitchen. There's all kinds of cooking utensils and tables and pots and pans and everything. And it's nice carved stone floor. Slowly, you 2 pass through the kitchen and into a hallway. You see the light of a torch or potentially a lantern down the hall, and you see it turn a corner. And corner leads you. It appears like this hallway, based on where you were passing, like along the cliff and coming up to the edge of the palace where the palace meets the cliffside. This corridor turns what looks like it would be, based on your sense of direction, into the cliff. And he takes you that way, deep, like into the mountain almost, it feels like. And there are no windows. So this corridor turns inward, and then there's a left turn. And it's like down a long hallway, and there are no windows. That's what's weird. That's what makes you think you're like underground a little bit, is that there's nothing with a view of outside. And quietly you two go this way, and you pass a few doors, but Corn seems like he knows where he's going. And you reach a door that is entirely different from like any of the other doors you pass. You pass through like wooden doors, ornate doors, other things of that nature. This one appears to be like iron or like a hard like metal.
Like it looks heavy?
Yeah, like definitely heavy. It almost looks like kind of like it's not like a vault, but it's more like almost like a ship, like a door on like a navy vessel or something, like a ship, like a heavy metal door that will like swing open, and probably like based on just on the outside, it looks like it's thick. And he reaches up, and you see him finagle with the lock, and you see him finagle with it, and you hear a large locking mechanism like unlock, and it echoes a little bit in the door. It's not like a click, it's a clunk, and the door swings inward, and like it's a deep metal creak, and it's pretty dark in this next room. And he goes, "We shouldn't be bothered in here, but this is what I wanted to show you." And he steps into the room.
You aren't trying to kill me, are you?
No. he smiles, and legitimately charming, like smiles like, "No, of course not. Why would I take you into the palace to kill you?" Like
You've
legitimately questioning.
You said you got friends.
Fair enough. He goes, "We can turn back if you want."
Too deep in now.
It's true. When you step into the room, he doesn't have dark vision there. He's human. So it's been light enough to see up to this point. You see him reach into like a pocket at his hip, and he pulls out, and you hear him whisper, "Light for me." And he has a crystal ball that begins to emanate light, like the light spell. And you're in a huge cavern. He closes the door. The door closes behind you. Clunk. And you're in this huge room. And it appears it's a lot more natural stone than everything else that's been around. As you came into town, as you rushed in, you may have noticed the towers of the guard towers around the city are this deep gray stone. It looks like a stormy cloud gray, and the castle itself is made of this same stone. Deep in the castle. The thing that stands out the most, though, is that's not the same color stone as the cliffs behind. The cliffs are a pale white. So the castle stands out against the cliffs like a storm cloud against bright skies. And in the center of this room, it appears like this is that stone that looks like it has been quarried, but natural. Maybe. As this light emanates in this room, there's just a lot of stuff. And there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of this stone, and there's a lot of things covered in like sheets and blankets and things. And there is, I guess the room is natural, and in the center is like a pillar of this same stone, is what I should say. That makes a lot more sense than naturally. There's a pillar of the same stone that looks like the guard towers. And on the back wall of this room it's more of a mural than a painting, or a mosaic even. And this mural has this similar pillar of stone or mosaic, the similar pillar of gray storm-colored stone. And there's an individual, pale-ish skin, very dark hair. Could be Corin's relative. Like, he doesn't look like Corin exactly, but like kinda. Like Martin and Kay look similar. Like, but they're a lot of like dark-haired guys and of Caucasian descent in the world. Like, and the individual there's a lot of like sparks around their hand in this mosaic. And you can kind of see it, like they look like little cracks of light. And he's like reaching out to touch this pillar. And in the background stand a woman in green and gold, a woman in blue and white, and a few other different humans of varying shades and hues and expressions. They're all very kind of stoic, I guess. And amongst these people stand a pilot. In this mosaic. At the edge of the crowd, an individual, but not hidden and wrapped up and everything. No cloak. No, just regular armor. You see the metallic face, the eyes, your eyes of that full-faced expression, standing beside another individual, another male. This is another thing that I guess is worth describing. I assume you like as you notice this, you approach even closer.
Yeah.
All of the humans, they look a little bit like Alfonz in like the half elven way. They're very, like, it could be artistic license in this mosaic, but they're very regal. They're beautiful. They're unwrinkled. None of them look like they've had like lives that have beaten them down, where they've fought against elements. They look like the pinnacle of humanity. Like this, they're all the statue of David. They don't have like pointed ears, but they all have they're beautiful, is the best way to describe it. Beautiful in the essence of pure humanity. Next to the Warforged individual, there's a gentleman. He's clean shaven. He has close cropped hair. And like just astonishingly blue eyes. In the color of the painting, at least. Like it's this astonishingly blue. And you look and you see that face. and you're taken away for a second. And you hear a voice. It says, "But what will we call you? Philip? No, too simple. Ronald? No, too normal. I know. We shall call you Calcifer, and you will be the spark." And you see a fire and this face in front of you, and he smiles big. And in front of you, you see yourself, you see your fingers moving. And you come out of it and you're looking at your hand. And Corn is standing beside you. He says, "That looks like you. Maybe not exactly, but it looks like you. I was wondering if you knew anything about it."
Has this been here?
Probably forever. I think it's one of the oldest rooms in the palace. I found it investigating one night. It's so odd. There's so many odd things in here that don't make any sense. It's interesting. I don't know.
There's so much I don't know.
It's a lot many of us don't know. He says, "Sometimes I come in here." He says, "I wonder about this thing." And he's walking around this pillar. It's probably only like that big around, but it's up to like, it's like where you could reach out and like just put your hand on it at like shoulder level. Like rest your hand on it. It's like, "I wonder about this. What is it here for?" And like you look at the ground and there are runes inscribed all around it on the floor. What does it mean? Why is it here? Why is any of this here? It doesn't make any it's weird. It's all weird.
Hey, Corin.
Yeah.
I wonder if anything will happen if I touch it.
Who knows? Do you attempt to touch it?
Yeah.
Okay. As you reach out, the pillar starts to, as where your hand gets to it, it's kind of like it starts to shed light. It looks like when you know those little like kids' toys with the like electricity inside, and you put your finger on it and it like zaps that like one spot.
Oh,
where
like
your
the ball
finger is.
thingies?
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's like that, except there's a mote of light. As you reach out and touch it, a mote of light like starts to emanate in that area, and it appears to respond to your presence. But that's what it does, is that then this pillar, it starts to light up, and it's like, as you like, if you set your hand on top of it, it becomes like a circle of light around the top, and it sheds all the way down the pillar and into the runes on the ground. But that's all. It lights, and he's like, "Well, that's weird."
And when I take my hand off, does the
fades.
light goes back out?
Yeah.
Thank
But
you
I wanted
for
to show you
showing.
this. Yeah, because it's incredibly unique, like you. And the first time I noticed you, I remembered this.
On the rooftop?
Yeah. You're not normal, but none of us are. So,
Well, for one, I'm made of metal.
yeah. And glass might as well be made of stone. Doesn't mean you're not a person. My best friend's a cat.
There's more than one cat in this town.
Well, maybe there's more than one of you. And he points back at the picture. Because it looks like you. It could be you, but it's not dressed like you. It's not dressed like the way you normally dress. It's a lot more casual. A lot less sneaky.
As far as I know, I don't have anyone. The only people I have are Ilikhal and Alfonz.
Well, You're always welcome at the Laughing Cat. He says, let's get out of here before the guards come back by.
Let's do.
And you sneak out of the castle.
Yeah.
He takes you a different way. As you reach, he takes you out of the castle the same way into the garden, but he's going to take you out a different way because supposedly the ladder is gone. As you leave into the garden, make a perception check.
That is a 15.
15 is pretty good. Need to check.
Is it good enough?
He notices you do not. So whatever it is probably pretty high. He does lead you through the gardens. He leads you through a different exit, which leads into one of the like guard towers, which has another exit just out to like street level almost, and into the city. And he takes you back to the Western Gate. And he says, I think this is where we part ways. It's time for me to go to bed.
I hold out a fist bump.
Kunks.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, bro.
He says, if you need anything, you know where to find me most of the time. And he says, otherwise, a message will get to me quick enough at the Laughing Cat, or by other means if you have them.
I appreciate the trip.
I'll see you around.
See you
And
around.
he goes off. You part ways.
Yeah.
You make it back. It is probably about. You met at midnight. It's probably been 2.5 hours. It's probably like 2:30 a.m. You retreat. You come to the tribe to find Alfonz slumped, gone. He made it. He didn't make it. It's actually the answer. There's like a log, and he's just leaned up against it and out.
That's making it.
I-
That's making it.
Try to like lift him like arm over shoulder. Hold him
Yep.
up.
And
Be
take him
like,
back to the-
okay. Okay, smart guy, let's get you into your bed.
Did you find anything good?
I'll tell you in the morning when you're
Hungover for 10 hours.
hungover for a while.
Can we have that hangover start like now?
It's
How
from
will
the
you
moment
wake
up.
In the morning.
How was the Ilikhal?
6
Same thing.
hours.
Yeah,
I,
Ilikhal
yeah,
they're both
I'm not.
they're both
I'm not
gonna need
wasted.
some diner breakfast in the morning.
Yeah, yeah. I'm in my bed. I managed just fine.
Ilikhal saw Alfonz passed out around like the fire area, which a few people tend to do. And Ilikhal went, his shoes are
My
on.
problem.
He's gonna get his face written on. You did make it before the pranksters came around and like put ash like on his face, so he looked like a raccoon or something. You made it before that happened.
Is
So-
Alfonz face kind of?
No, that's what you would. That's Ilikhal made it home. That's what Alfonz's face would like. They like the younger prankstery ones would have come by with like ash on a branch and like drawn on his face like a Sharpie. But he wouldn't have noticed in the morning when he first woke up. It's easy to wash off. It's not a permanent marker, but it would
I
have been
get
funny.
Alfonz into a room.
Yeah, you get him back to the Ilikhal family tent, and
And
Bring him
I
down.
also make sure to grab like at least 3 cups of water for him in the morning.
okay,
Oh,
too
best
kind.
friend.
And I find Ilikhal hopefully and do the same for Ilikhal.
Oh, I'm in the tent.
Yeah,
I'm in the
Illikhal's in the tent. Look,
Yeah, you
Like,
walk
I-
into the tent and it's just the louder snoring than last night.
like I
but
give him
Ili-
the water.
Cool.
Ilikhal though asleep, smile on his face, just having a good dream.
Great night.
Is
Ilikhal,
the
you feel
fire
extra safe.
still- sorry.
The fire is burned down to cinders outside the tent. The major fire is like also it has died down to like almost nothing.
I'll still sit by the fire cinders.
Outside of the individual tents, people have like their own like campfires sort of, and then there's the like the tribe sets up in like concentric circles, sort of with a major fire in the center, and then everybody kind of has their own, and they'll have like a communal gathering, and then they're like your individual family gatherings. So right outside the tent is a small fire burned down to cinders, and then the major bonfire is pretty much nothing also. But you lean back, start to take your rest. First thing in the morning. Not first thing in the morning. Ooh, a couple of you having a rough morning.
10 hours into the morning.
Around an hour after sunrise, Ilikhal, well, Pilot, you wake up at sunrise because you were just chilling, vibing, shutdown mode. About sunrise, Pilot, you wake up. The camp starts to move around you. Like you got different Goliaths, going to fetch water from wells. You have different Goliaths starting to make breakfast. You have Goliaths who are going about the beginning of their day, which is involving everything from making nets to repairing weapons to feeding babies to you name it.
Are there Goliath children?
There are some Goliath children.
I'm assuming they're roughly my height at this point.
They're pretty tall. Like a young Goliath is probably 5 feet tall. So like a normal height human, I guess you would say prepubescent, like an adolescent Goliath is 5 feet tall. Like they look like really tall kids. It's really interesting. Like they have no essence of facial hair whatsoever. No like chest or body hair. They all have really wispy. If they have hair, it's that child hair kind of thing going on, and really soft faces like children, but they're tall. And they're kind of they're kind of like when a puppy before it becomes a full-size dog, their arms and legs are just
huge.
Yeah, it's they look super awkward because everybody has that phase where you're just I'm too big for what my brain gets. And there are some Goliaths that are like that, and they're playing. Those that get up early with their parents, they do everything from little mock wrestling matches to helping their parents carry water to mending clothing, tanning, all of it. Everybody seems to be learning. All of the younger ones seem to be learning something. Potentially Ilikhal learned how to hunt or track or fight. All of these things. Ilikhal, you're the next to wake. Probably a little later than usual, and groggy. It's the first time you've partied Goliath style in a while, at least half a year. And it's good to be home, but also, is home always this loud? Shortly after you wake up, you begin your morning routine. Shortly after, Alfonz, you are just awoken by the immense need to vomit. Never you're asleep on the bedroll, and you gotta get it's gotta get out of bed, gotta find somewhere to hurl. And Ilikhal and Pilot, you see Alfonz rush out of the tent and are greeted by the sweet, sweet music of a wizard vomiting.
I follow with a glass of water.
Oh.
Well, it's probably water skin. Yeah, a canteen or something. Yep. Alfonz, you will have you'll be seriously hungover for a while. Let me look up to see what.
Did the sleeping eat into any of that hangover time since we slept in?
He said tomorrow, once you wake up,
Yes.
you'll have
once you have undrunken.
Yeah.
So.
And how long was it? 12 hours?
10.
I think for Kay it's 10.
10.
Mine's
10.
6.
Yikes.
Most of today.
Mm-hmm.
Hangover duration. I'm going to say for half of your hangover, you have poison condition, essentially. So you have disadvantage on all ability checks.
Okay.
And then for the second half of your hangover, we'll make it a random, like a random roll, like a 5 or lower on a d20 roll. You'll have so you roll on your hangover and see if that affects.
Okay.
Just because it's very to give you poison for 10 hours is a little
much. I'm listening to my Ilikhal playlist right now, and it was a good idea.
Nice.
in the headspace.
Mm-hmm.
Ilikhal, you have a hangover for what, 4 hours?
6.
6.
Should have just agreed with you.
For the next 3 hours,
I would have called you out,
have
though.
the poison condition, and then for the 3 after that. Yeah, but the day starts around you. Zhixil, you wake up in your bed at the Laughing Cat, feeling good. Good day to have meet some new friends, see what's up, hang out with them. You got a little bit of a plan about the day. You're so excited to go like hang out with these professional adventurers who are definitely not complete dummies.
We are so professional.
Heard so much about them.
Mm-hmm.
His perception on Corin's ability to meet new people is probably going to take a dive today.
Unfortunately so.
At least Pilot is a sound of mind. So.
They got us high.
Okay,
you don't know that, but
that is true.
Pilot is the best and worst mom.
Yeah.
Pilot's a cool mom.
Cool mom.
Pilot is like the vodka aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we'll treat you while you're
fine.
hungover, but like also a hangover can be cured. This I don't want you guys to know this, but you might know. Would be cured by like a lesser restoration spell. So
If only we had a healer.
you only had a
Only we
healer.
had a healer.
Yeah, I just realized I can't
Oh.
multiclass in cleric for a long time.
What does your mom do? Is she a healer of
know.
some sorts magically?
No, she's not. I know that much.
Seeing as she's a wild magic sorcerer,
Yeah, that adds up.
that makes your abilities make sense as well
Yeah.
by birth. What are we gonna do? So you wake up as the campus is getting moved around you. Ilikhal, you note your uncle's tent, which is just nearby. That side of your family starts to get moving. They begin like getting ready for the day. Your uncle seems in much better spirits than he did the day before, having spent like 2 or 3 days in town in an inn away from like his people. Like it's like being away from home kind of thing. Like you get a little travel weary, and you could tell he was getting that like tired of dealing with the humans in the city kind of thing. Like anytime you all like ventured into town with him to sell or buy or do anything, he was just never he gets like city sick essentially. Like there's too much going on, too much out of his control, and like you always noticed he's always like a little on edge in cities. Like it's a little too stimulating in a way. Like he can't control certain things, or like the fight or flight instincts are always just extra on. And a lot of it seems to be kind of like a sentiment of like a lot of your people that you're not city people, you're wilderness people, you're family people. So he looks like he's getting prepared to head in to wait in line again to meet with the king.
Yeah, so I need to meet with Corin, but I want to see what everyone else is gonna do today as well. So
Okay.
I guess talk to Alfonz and Pilot.
By Pilot, or not by Pilot, by Alfonz just patting his back, giving
Good
him
morning,
some water.
Alfonz. Do you feel as terrible as I do?
Worse. And I grabbed the
I
water.
gave him a hearty pat on the back.
Just spit. I just spit. I need sleep. I want to go for That's it.
I understand.
Look at Alfonz and I keep patting his back.
It's very comforting. A little stiff, but very, very comforting. No, you got a friend. Been there, buddy. there. So what are we
I
gonna do?
turn to Ilikhal and I try to do the same.
You have to reach up pretty far. I'm like, okay, and I kind of like edge away a little bit. So I need to
Coffee.
speak to Corin. Yes, we need to coffee. We do.
Is there Starbucks nearby?
Do Goliaths brew coffee regularly, or is that like an in comfort?
Do they?
I don't know.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, they have coffee.
Coffee.
Let's go get you some coffee, Alfonz.
I imagine the
is-
Goliath coffee is like pretty strong.
It
So
is
It's
very
basically like
strong.
espresso, but we drink
Yeah.
more than you should of espresso.
Mm.
That should help a little bit.
Yeah. So I
Very-
take him to like the main fire where
Yep, main cook fire.
Mm,
There's plenty of breakfast. It's gonna go around. There's like it's not there is some kind of meat. It's not bacon though. It's not pig. It might be like a goat or some sort of like venison-y crispy meat. There's like oatmeal and no eggs. Chickens are hard to keep in the mountains. And coffee.
very strong coffee.
Very strong coffee.
I'm weighing the pros and cons here of the hair of the dog method.
Try.
I could be very
You certainly
charismatic.
you could certainly try.
But that leads to alcoholism, so I think we're just not gonna do that.
Yeah, grab some breakfast, bit of everything, drink a bunch of coffee.
Yeah.
for me.
Hydrate.
Mhm.
Hydrate.
All right. Where are we going post breakfast?
Right here.
Hanging out all day. You can. Absolutely. There's something to learn from them for sure.
So I think we need to visit Corin again today.
Today. And I pull my hat down just a little bit. I imagine I'm leaning against the same log that Pilot found me leaning against. Just subconsciously found like the exact same spot. And I'm pulling my hat down and just kind of sipping the coffee.
I suppose it could wait one more day.
Martin's face. I think that would be best.
I plan on heading into the city real quick just to check up on Corin myself.
Well, in that case, I will go with you. See what he has for me.
Alfonz, please don't die.
No. If you insist. And I grab my quarterstaff and I like heave myself onto my feet. I'm fine. I've been through worse.
Okay, old man.
I kind of like hunker down and I kind of like offer him a piggyback.
No. But I'm taking like baby steps, just like ugh.
If Alfonz did jump up, I'd imagine that Ilikhal would probably fall over as well.
Yeah.
Probably for the best.
Trying to stay strong, but not that strong.
What if we
Before we
got
go-
like a carriage? Rented
No.
a carriage for the day.
Um,
Taxi.
Even
before we
better,
go-
you could rent like the person. What are they called? Where the person like pulls you rickshaw.
Rickshaw. Yeah.
You could rent a rickshaw and have just Ilikhal just pull you around all day, and that wouldn't.
Ilikhal's not much better.
Yeah, but he's a lot stronger. All right.
I do want to talk to my uncle before we go.
Okay.
So I'll say to my uncle, good morning. I'm just heading into town to meet with my potential contact to hasten things with the king. I will let you know as soon as I have heard more.
Okay, we are headed in very soon after a quick breakfast. We will expect to be waiting in line again all day today.
I
Wow.
will
Right, go ahead.
I will likely meet you at around 3 o'clock then. They will not let me in without papers.
Of course.
While this is going on, is there like a barrel full of water somewhere?
Yep.
I go over
Sure.
to that barrel of water. I take off my hat and just dunk my face in it.
Sploosh. It's
It's
cold.
like, it's fine. I
It's
need this.
real
I'm like
cold.
scrubbing my face and just like whip my hair out.
Tilt your head back.
Yeah.
Tilt your head back, please.
Yep.
No, I just stand straight and let the water go down my face.
It's cold. Feels good.
Mhm.
You didn't watch as one of like the large like mountain goats they keep like walks up and just starts drinking from the barrel of water.
Tall goat.
It kind of looks at you like side eye.
I look back at it and just go, nah.
It's canon.
Walks back to its post.
Alfonz secretly speaks goat.
Hmm. He is very proficient in languages. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so I'll head back to the others. I suppose we can start going. Alfonz, are you sure you're good to come with us?
Yes. Don't mind me.
All right.
So what
Maybe
insight check
let's slow that pace down a little today. And I spark my pipe, like I'm using my spell to light it, and I'm just having trouble, but I get it, and I just slowly start walking towards you guys.
Gonna take a while to get into town today.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Where are we going?
The Laughing Cat, probably.
Okay. So we walk down into town. We take a kind of a roundabout path to get to the center of town, sort of where the Laughing Cat is located. Probably after about 15, 20, 25 minutes it takes about to walk there.
I've casted prestidigitation, like after that, so just kind of like blast as much water off as me. So like I look clean, but I'm just like looking worse
Dead
for
on the
wear.
inside.
Yeah, just
I think meanwhile Zhixil's probably just like down in the main area of the Laughing Cat, probably chatting up some of the locals, and he's probably really good friends with most people there. So
It's a family thing. Both of you say chatting up when you
that-
don't mean it.
what?
Oh, chatting up is like flirting. Yeah.
Yeah,
oh.
I
Yeah.
didn't notice
I've
that.
I've told Kay that as well. He's used it the wrong way as well.
I call
Oh,
sus on
man.
that. I don't know. Or who knows? Maybe
First time
that's how
hearing it.
charismatic Zhixil is. I don't know.
Yeah, hey, I don't know.
Adding up a family.
Damn it, Saph.
So you make your way to the Laughing Cat. You get there a smidge before mid-morning, I'll say. So that makes it like just before 9 a.m. if the sun's rising at like 5:36.
We're hungover as all hell, and we're there at 9 a.m. Holy crap!
Yeah, no.
It's
We did not wake up that early.
you did not wake up that I mean, it's like it's
We also, like,
daytime.
Chilled around the fire.
Okay, so we'll say it's like 10 a.m. Give you another hour. It's not noon.
Yeah.
It is mid-morning.
Okay.
We are how many hours into the hangovers at
They
this point?
are 2
Okay.
hours into the hangover. Post that's going to give us a wake up, a breakfast, a walk, discussion, talk with family, everything.
Mm.
You make it to the Laughing Cat. It is busy as always. Busy is a word. It's doing business as a business does, especially in a large city. There are always patrons. There are always people getting breakfast or lunch, or like they do meals all day long. They do drinks all day long. They have people coming for business meetings. They have people staying, people leaving, people coming in, people going forth. And as the Laughing Cat does, it is a very diverse group of people. As you all approach, you see a group of 6 dwarves who all appear to be wearing the same colors and insignia, I guess. Yeah, that'd be good. They all look like they're together. You hear them gruff talking, and they're just getting ready to do the day and all that stuff. And for some reason, they're really southern. I don't know why my voice did it, but they're southern dwarves, and they're hardy people. But you guys make it to the door. You go in. Zhixil, you see as your 3 new acquaintances come into the Laughing Cat.
Do we see Corin?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Is Corin there?
Corin is not here. Zhixil, you actually were left a message, which I guess I could have mentioned before we got here with you. Corin just said, it says something like, go and take care of business for the friends. Have them, like, they should be set to get into the palace or something.
Oh, tomorrow?
Like it today.
Oh.
Business is taken care of. It's something along those lines. Like it's very like your communication with Corin is very like you get a lot of like long stories when he comes back from business, but when Corin gets off on a mission for something, like it's like
to the point.
He's set to do the thing. And when he says business, he could be going to Summer's Hearth. Like you in your friendship, it's been like, oh yeah, he's got business too. I think he's just got to go down. Like he's been like, hey, you want to go with me to take care of this thing? And you guys have gone on like a 5-day journey to take care of this thing. And you were like, this is not what I signed up for.
So took care of the business. So the idea would be if there were the papers involved, because I think Zhixil was there to listen to that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Would Zhixil know where the papers would be acquired?
Either like they've been submitted, like based on like the business taken care of. Yeah, it's like if you were to go to the palace, you'd be able to be like, hey, where are these people? And potentially would be let through.
Okay,
we'll see.
We'll see.
If we don't see Corin, I guess we would go over to Zhixil.
I think Zhixil's just finishing up breakfast or something. Or probably, breakfast was probably like a couple hours ago, so he's just probably sitting with a tea or something.
Yeah, so I'll head over to Zhixil and say, good morning. Have you seen Corin?
Zhixil just kind of looks up, cocks his head for a second, like, yes, it's you. Are
you sitting at a table?
Yeah, he's just sitting at a table.
I slowly lower myself into a chair right next to you and just be like, continue. Slightly out of breath.
Are you all sitting down or?
No, I will sit down.
Okay. Zhixil's just kind of like,
how's the coffee here? And I pull my hat down a little lower.
He was about to start like explaining in detail just how good it is, but he could kind of tell that you're not there to listen. For you, my friend, it's just the right thing that I think you need right now.
Perfect.
You look like you've had a night. Are you guys well?
I flag down like either a waitress or I go to the bar and I order a coffee for. I guess I order 3 coffees. Wait, no, Zhixil, you have something, right?
I have a tea.
Yeah. I order 2 coffees.
Nothing for Pilot?
No.
We don't have that kind of relationship yet.
Not because I don't think, just because Ilikhal knows you don't really need food now. I don't need to justify Ilikhal's decisions.
It's nothing personal.
Olsen, the Tabaxi owner, comes up and he goes, well, hi. Like, you look like you need some coffee.
Yes, please.
So he says, one moment. And he goes back into the back. And you hear a lot more noise than coffee requires. Like there's a couple clangs and some tinks and some like the boiling of water.
Me making coffee.
And he comes back more noise than needed.
Yeah.
He comes back probably in like 2 or 3 minutes. He sets like not a decanter. I guess it's kind of like a decanter. He sets down that and a couple of cups, and then he says, "Also, it looks like you had a heck of a night last night."
I might have.
And he says, "And your friend?" Looks
A
like he
worse
had
one.
much worse. And he reaches into a space under the counter, and he pulls out 2
Vials,
they're not vials, but they're like
clear liquid.
they kind of look like
Done my homework. I've done my homework.
they kind of look like grandma's soup
Oh,
from Wind
Soup?
Waker.
Nice.
Like it's nice. It's a nice like bottle. Two glass bottles, and he goes,
Pop
the
the
first two are on me. He says,
Thank you so much.
but that'll help. He said, also though, tastes god awful.
I don't even think he'll notice. Thank you very much. How much for the coffee?
Coffee, for a whole decanter, 3 copper pieces.
Yeah, hand that over.
He takes it, pockets it.
All right, and I come back with the coffee and the soup.
Still think about grandma's soup sometimes.
I pass it to Alfonz and I say, just drink this. Just don't think about it.
Okay. I trust you.
You do look like you need it, that's for sure. That'll do the trick.
Are you familiar with this brew?
Zhixil, you know it as Olson's Lesser Restorative Elixir.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, you are familiar with it. Yes, you've had it. No, it doesn't taste good.
Okay.
Yeah, I drink it. What's it do?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Do you
That's
do
what
that
I want to
again?
hear.
I never remember.
How do I roll dice?
The
With
D20,
your
right?
hands.
13.
Okay, good.
Saving throw, 15.
It's also good.
18 for me.
Okay.
Nice.
You pop the cork. Cheers. As you go to drink, Ilikhal, you're a little like congested. You're just like, eh. So you don't get a whiff of it. Alfonz, your nose is surprisingly clear. You get a whiff of it, and you immediately it does not smell good. And as you both toss it back, it is vile. It is. It's like fresh garlic mixed with like just sourness.
Oh, okay.
And like it's kind of like, you know, when you have heartburn like in the middle of the night, sometimes you wake up and you're just like, oh, it feels like that drinking it.
I'm all too familiar with that feeling.
Sorry, I'm not an old man. I can't relate.
Hey, I've had acid reflux since I started playing sports.
That was playing in my mind for a few seconds, and I decided to go with it.
Eat an entire pizza before bed, and
Yeah, Zhixil
like,
winces, but
just-
like
and you see them both. They like Pilot. You notice this as well. They're both like, they each like just a couple of like spicy tears out of each eye. And Alfonz, you're like, oh dear God, why? Why would anyone ever consume this? It like you just want to have something else to drink to get this out of your mouth.
Just picturing like my mouth completely coated with it too. Just ugh.
Yep.
I quickly grab a cup, pour some coffee in, add 5 sugars and a dash of honey, and I
No,
give it
that's
to
tea. That's
Alfonz.
tea. That's not.
Too late.
Oh, no.
Doesn't matter.
Pilot is locked on to this concept. What does it do for us, Noah?
It is amazingly, Alfonz, the headache you had, what you didn't realize in the vileness and the occupation of your like entire consciousness by how terrible this is. What you didn't realize is that the light doesn't hurt your eyes as much,
Ooh,
and your headache is gone.
nice.
And despite the initial want to vomit everything you've ever to eat in your entire life, your stomach is strangely settled. Ilikhal, you just feel better. You weren't that hungover. You were starting to get over your hangover, but it does in fact cure hangover.
Cool.
Completely?
Completely.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
We got that for
Benevolent
free.
DM.
Benevolent Olsen.
And the first one is free.
Yeah.
Should you choose to buy another one, it's not a drug, Kay, looking at me like I'm trying to deal.
This is a pyramid scheme.
Want to learn how to sell your own lesser
Zoop.
restoration?